I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
I'm ready.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I'll record it back up.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Amon's going to record it back up.
Yeah, well, I won't because I'll mess it up, of course.
Yeah. Three,
Three,
two,
1. What's up, you cool kids? We're here in the hippest of months. PlayStation 1 month. And I'm Teddy.
and I'm Polygons.
and I don't know. I'm Spencer. I usually would say Toad. Like, that's usually my thing to say Toad.
He wasn't on that system. He wasn't on the
Frogger. You're Frogger.
I'm Frogger. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, there was a Frogger. And that would be the equivalent of a Toad.
the most iconic PlayStation character. Frogger.
Known for its Frogger, the PlayStation 1 was a very successful console.
It's Frogger. Speaking of frogs, we got a guest here hopping into the game talk. Welcome back, VGMashUP.
Hey, and I am PlayStation 3 or PlayStation. 3D games have not aged well. There you go. That's what I am.
Whoa. Mr. Controversy.
Controversy at the beginning.
Starting it early.
You don't like
Welcome.
You don't like Jaggies?
Well, I do, but only a few of them, not that many.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for having me. Really, really glad to be back.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great having you and anticipating some savagery today.
Hopefully.
I appreciated your Nintendo Direct video, by the way. I really liked
awesome.
it because it was one of the most honest ones I've seen, and I actually agreed with pretty much all your points.
Well, thank you.
I watched it. I'm sorry, Amon.
It's all right. I'll live. I'll survive. Hey, it's still on. You can watch it anytime you want.
Yeah, that's the beauty of YouTube.
I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go watch it on TV.
Here on the Button Mappers live reaction, Alex watches VGMashUP's Nintendo Direct, really direct, for the first time.
You didn't care about DC Supergirls?
Sort of. A little bit. No.
What?
Beautiful. Well, in terms of questioning, we got a lot of questions here on Game Talk. We answer the questions. You ask them, we answer. Just leave us a question at any time in the comments below, and we will get back to you with the next month's Game Talk. But before we do...
Oh, sorry. I was going to jump in there.
Alex, why don't you jump in Frogger style?
Ribbit, here I am, Frogger, here to give the plugs. Hop across the street to Discord, and we'll try not to run you over, or you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm just staring this right into a wall, guys. This is terrible. Why aren't you stopping me? This is awful. Nobody's saying anything.
I like hearing you try to come up with ways to integrate Frogger into our opening.
I was trying, and it was not working, and nobody was helping me out.
Well, Alex,
drown like this? Really?
thanks for croaking.
Figuratively and literally.
Hey, when the ship is sinking, we're not going down with it, right? We're just watching it sink.
Yeah.
Well, on your way to the Discord, why don't you cross a couple streets to VGMashUP's YouTube channel and subscribe for some excellent gaming content.
I hear he did a really good video on the Nintendo Direct.
Who said
Didn't
that?
watch it. Some guy.
I think I said it myself.
Yeah.
I like the self-plugging. I should go. We should whenever we from now on, like whenever any of us four go on to anybody else's videos, we need to say, "Man, I did a really good video on X last night. You should totally check it out."
Yeah. I'll
Maybe it'll work.
video, but I did an amazing video.
Guys, I just want to jump in and say that I also had an excellent Mario Direct with VGMashUP as well.
Yeah.
There you go. It always works.
Well done. Questions. The first question comes from none other than a very special friend of the show, Mr. VGMashUP.
Hey, I know that guy, I think.
Uh-oh.
He asks, are console or PC exclusive games a good or bad thing? VG, since you're the guest, why don't you do the honors?
My answer will be no, they're not. I just think games should be accessible. I know it's a very, cliche answer, but exclusivity, I know it helps the businesses maybe a little bit, but overall, just not a big fan of exclusivity. The more places you can play it, the better off you are. And plus, there's so many choices out there that simply all gamers cannot be part of all platforms out there. So they would be missing out on some great titles.
Wow, it sucks. We start off on such a good foot, VG, and now I gotta disagree with you.
Okay, that's awesome.
How common for us. Unfortunately, I would disagree. I think you can't take the business out of the video game business, and I think competition breeds a better product. And
Fuck yeah, I was about to fucking say that. I hate you, Spencer.
hey, I gave a pause. I gave a little pause, Alex. I was like a cat. I gave you a pause.
I was being courteous. But...
so I
Pause.
I will say that competition creates a better product, and in the end, I think everybody wins when you get people trying to compete with each other to give you something great. So personally, there's other reasons, but I'll save them in case Alex wants to steal one of those as well. So go ahead, everybody else.
I'm not stealing shit, boy. Terry 309 is going to agree with me here. Obviously, I agree with Spencer that competition breeds creativity, and that creates the best marketplace for the gamer. He said everything I wanted to say, basically. So, fuck me.
Do you know Terry?
Yeah,
Terry, the guy who says "fuck all consoles."
yeah. That's the point. Is that Terry wants everything playable on his PC. So
Right.
I thought it'd be funny if I said Terry agrees. See, you're taking the joke out of it.
We've really dissected this joke now.
Yeah. If I have to take it apart this far, it's not funny anymore. It's broken.
All right, so Terry agrees with Alex. We've clarified. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Good thing.
Moving on.
No real reason why. Speaking of Terry, Terry has the next question. What type of gamer are you overall? Are you a taste tester or an all-in kind of guy? Taste tester equals prioritizes playing lots of different games, whereas all-in is you play fewer games but try to complete or beat them all. Kind of interested in Spencer's answer for this one.
Whoa.
Spencer, I'll give you some time to think about it. Why don't you go last on this one?
Okay.
Spencer,
I'll
why
go
don't you go in
first.
the middle?
Well, I don't want to steal Alex's answer, so why don't we let Alex go first?
Oh, well, you don't have my answer. So.
Alex, do you have an answer?
Yeah. I'm definitely, I would say, more of a taste tester, and I just kind of, if something really hooks me, then I'll keep playing it. And that's more attributed to, and why I struggle with time constraints and RPGs is I have ADD, and if you never had ADD or have ADD, or if you don't struggle with that, the sense of completion for most people is something that is like a sense of like euphoria, like, oh, I beat this thing, it's whatever. Me having to do one task and focus on it is just fucking agony. So having multiple things going on at once and kind of being able to leap back and forth, that's kind of my comfort zone. So definitely a taste tester.
All right, cool. Aman, how about you?
Taste tester for sure. Yeah, without a doubt for me personally, because I mean, like Alex said, if there's something that hooks me, I'm going to go all the way and play the game, finish it. But I'm absolutely not all about just one genre, a few games here and there. Want to play and experience as many different types of games on as many different types of platforms as possible. So without a doubt, taste tester.
Okay. I'm definitely a chips all in kind of guy. Even though I used to have more games, I don't think at that time, even my tastes then were taste tester because it always weighed on me. This idea of having games and never having enough time to play them. And, I just question, why do I own the games I own? And so I've definitely narrowed my tastes or even just my collection to the point of attainability. And I get so much more accomplishment out of knowing that I'm on track with the games that I own. And it's not just games. It could be books. It could be movies. It could be tasks. I just don't like that sense of being overwhelmed, because if I don't finish a game, if all I do is just kind of dabble in it for a little bit, with the exception of games that are just like really arduous to complete and beat, I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah, I would say right now in my life I'm more of a chips all in kind of guy. I went through a phase when I was younger of being a taste tester, and I just didn't like, because I specifically play RPGs. There was no way I'd complete any game, and so it just became a point where I'm just like playing games up until like a third of the way through maybe, and then dropping them. And I didn't like how that was going, so I switched it up when I started doing YouTube to actually finishing games, and I've pretty much been there since. I do not have a problem completely dropping games, though. Kind of like what Teddy was saying. Like some people, and this goes for TV shows as well, people will be like, oh, I started watching the show, and now I got to finish it, and it's boring, but I'm on season 3 of 10. And they're like, well, I got to truck on through. I have zero issues dropping anything if it's not good, so... I'm very careful about the time. I think Teddy's kind of like that too, but that would be my answers. Chips all in kind of guy.
I got to follow up. How do streaming services, be it gaming services or like TV services, fit into that question?
Well, I think that it caters to being a taste tester kind of thing, like a Netflix or a Hulu kind of thing. You can be like, oh, I can watch this. They have the entire show of Friends. They have every episode of Friends. I guess I'll binge watch it. Some people I've found, once they start binge watching it and they're at like season 2 or something, they feel like an obligation to sit through the whole thing. And in that way, I guess I'm not a more of a taste tester, because I just refuse to do that. I don't want to dedicate that amount of time into it. Yeah. So I guess I would be a chips all in kind of guy, but very careful about time. I have to enjoy it, or else I will drop it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would just like to add that services like Game Pass really make it overwhelming for you to be a focused person, like a chips all in type of person. So either you're looking for something specific, or you pretty much are left with sort of taste testing to find out what you want and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I almost feel like there's an abundance of streaming services between all of these things, be them, Netflix, Hulu, Game Pass. You can even argue Switch Online service in there. I don't think like PlayStation service really adds in there. I think even just the PC culture of like, even how like game deals and like timed game deals kind of factor into that, and this kind of urge to like, oh, you better get it now while it's on sale. Like they really do promote this kind of taste testing thing, because that's how their industry thrives, is on you feeling like you're missing out by not being part of it. And so I just kind of I don't like that sensation. I don't like that feeling, be it in any of those mediums. I don't really subscribe to any like online TV services. And this first year I didn't renew my Switch service, and instead, if there was a game that I wanted to play like from the Super Nintendo library, I just opted to download it on my new 3DS or my Wii U. And I think it gives me a more healthy kind of perspective, I guess, on or feeling when I try and play these games.
That being said, my Steam library is chock full of games. I haven't taste tested them. I just haven't played them.
Yeah,
I have them, but they're just like sitting unplayed.
What do you even call that? Like a no taste?
No taste.
I got no taste. I'm a no taste.
Call that a hoarder. This is a hoarder.
Yeah. And then it's not even hoarder. Like a thing I can hoard. Like it's a digital thing, but I just have them. What a waste. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Next up, Bio Phoenix. Q. What is a crossover idea that you wish would happen?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Anyone jumping out with an answer on this one?
So we're talking like 2 video games crossing over each other, like making.
I
a
don't
game
care.
together?
You could cross over
Whatever.
a
Crossover
game with your
fucking
life.
Pikmin and Gilligan's Island if you want to. I don't give a shit.
That's my answer. Pikmin and Gilligan's Island.
I love it. Explain to us what this is like.
No.
Well, on one planet you have the small Pikmin, and then on the other, the Pikmin are large. They're larger than all of us.
Good question. Okay, I gotta think about that for a second.
SpongeBob and Doom.
Yeah, explain it.
I'm just looking
Spoon.
behind you.
Spoon.
Okay, I got a
Like
good one.
Squidward and the Doom 32X.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got a good one. I think I'm a big League of Legends guy. Obviously, play that like religiously. One thing I'm not super into is comic books, but I think Marvel should make a League of like a Dota or MOBA,
That'd be
whatever you want to call it. I think it's just like should be like the standard. That should for sure be a game, and they can make a ton of money off of it. It like a Wolverine with 4 attacks and Storm with 4 attacks. It would just be perfect. So I would say League of Legends, I guess, or just the MOBA in general, and then Marvel.
This would never happen, but I want Zelda and Theater Rhythm.
Why wouldn't it happen?
Yeah, what do you think?
I mean,
Theater Rhythm is Square Enix.
Yeah,
Like
but
I
they-
just
mean,
don't see them collaborating with the Nintendo IP.
They did Warriors. What Enix made fucking Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
God.
Final Fantasy characters in that game. You play the fucking Moogle and shit in that game, yeah.
Oh,
So
I
it's
stand
possible.
corrected.
It's possible.
I doubt it though.
But I mean, well, Nintendo's been pretty open lately with like letting other people come in. They did Pokken, they did the Warriors, Zelda games. I
They
think
did
there's something else.
I mean, in terms of just music, they did the Crypt of the Necromancer. I can't remember.
that
that
one.
The other thing about Theater
Mechanic-
Rhythm is it's stylus based, so it just wouldn't make it past the like that kind of DS touchscreen
Yeah,
style.
they could
Cadence of
reinvent it.
Hyrule. Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah, that's the one. They could reinvent it. I think that in some form or fashion, a music game based on Zelda is going to happen. More so than Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I didn't play that when I played the Crypt of the Necro Dancer. That was hard. You guys play that?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
god,
like a rhythm. It's like a rhythm roguelike dungeon crawler. It's fucking.
yeah,
It's
it has
cool,
the
but it's
difficulty
hard.
of a roguelike.
Yeah. I would have to say, like, if I had just off the top of my brain, and maybe it's just because I played like Star Fox 64 yesterday and also played a little bit of XCOM 2, that I would say XCOM and Star Fox. I would say an XCOM style Star Fox like tactics game, where they're out of the ship and stuff, but like I don't know, I just think that like that world would work really well for that kind of game.
Send in the R-Wings. This is Peppy here. All systems go. VG, what you got?
Yeah, I would like to see collaborations that are somewhat similar in style to one another. So maybe a Batman and Spider-Man game combined into one. That would be cool for me personally. But also something like a Silent Hill and Resident Evil combination would be pretty cool for me personally. Never going to happen, but those I think would be.
What would a Silent Hill and Resident Evil combination be? Like, do you have any ideas?
Not necessarily, not in particular, but just sort of combining both of the environments or the worlds that both, characters live in, whatever, sort of combining them into one. I don't have an idea for that, a solid one, but it would be cool to see something like that. I would have to think about it, of course. And of course,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, also, I was just going to say Batman, Spider-Man, I think, the humor of Spider-Man versus the darkness of Batman would be a pretty neat combination.
Not to shit on your Resident Evil and Silent Hill idea, but I think those two would have clashing tones, for sure.
Yeah, you would have to. Well, okay, let's say a more Resident Evil style of game. How about that?
Oh, okay. I was thinking like Silent Hill is a little more introspective
Yeah.
with its themes, and then Resident Evil is just like,
More about shooting zombies.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Work.
Wow, way to just shit on our guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just being
not doing that
honest.
well.
I'm
You
just
know
being
what?
honest.
I'm leaving. That's it.
Come on, you just take that last answer back, and we'll
I'm
we'll,
just
we'll
giving
edit it.
my
We'll
opinion.
edit it out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Look, you guys could have told me I'm fucking stupid for my idea, and I would have been okay.
it.
Guys, I'm taking it back. I want Mega Man on a popsicle.
I would lick that.
I'm blaming Bio for that one. That was this question, right?
Yeah.
Blame Bio for me.
Who pulled the Bio Phoenix?
You knew Alex would respond well to that question.
Let's move on. This one comes from a familiar face. Frickin' Frack. Frickin'.
Fracking.
Fracking. Uh-oh. Q, did you ever have to sneak behind your parents' back to play a certain game or watch a certain show or movie? Provocative. I used to just stay up at night, like pretend, okay, Mom, I'm going to bed, and then I'd either play my DS or I'd play like 360, and I'd be talking into the headset like, okay, guys, we're gonna go to like the next stage in Halo 2. You guys ready? And then they busted at me, I'd have the surprise face. Duh. I swear I just got up. I couldn't sleep.
I think I don't know if I've told this story on this show. Maybe I did it on. I know I've said it somewhere, but
Yeah, you have. I know your story.
Okay, did I tell it on this or on RPG Archive?
Let me try. Let me try and tell it.
Okay.
So there was Spencer. His mom grounded him.
Parents.
Parents. Okay.
both.
And so his mom walks in one day and he's playing. I'm gonna get this wrong, but his DS and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, I'm on my what the hell is it? A pocket Tamagotchi? No, what the hell are they? I can't remember the name of the thing. I'm too young. Palm Pilot.
Palm
Pilot. Yeah.
Pilot.
And then she's like, "Okay," and then he kept playing.
Yeah, you told that story before.
Okay. Yeah. It was a Game Boy Advance SP, and
Okay.
yeah. I was told that, and she assumed I was using it for school, even though I was grounded for grades. So not really working out.
Okay, I give my telling a 4
It was good. Yeah, it was about it.
out of 10, but
No, out of 7. You have
Okay.
4 out of 7. That was pretty good.
Four out of 7.
No, 8.
Wow, an 8 out of 7.
No,
Eight
4 out of 8.
Oh, 4 out of 8. Okay.
8 out of 7 would be pretty good.
We have to be careful with our denominators because Aman here will, change them on the fly. Don't think I forgot.
Yes, I will. I'm calculating as we speak.
Aman, did you ever have a experience where you had to go behind your parents' back to play a video game or watch a movie or something?
Game, no. But back in the day, movies, let's just say for more family-friendly purposes, fan service movies, of course, had to do that. Yeah. And you would not believe how fast I was turning off the TV whenever I hear somebody walking out the door or making sound. It was quick reflexes, pretend like you're asleep, whatever. Yeah, did all of that.
And why I asked this question because I was thinking about this the other day. It was like I never really got restricted on what games and stuff and what movies I could watch, but just due to time constraint, I had to go to bed early because I was a kid. So what I used to do was I knew from watching the little because kids back before you could look up everything, you had to watch the fucking channels thing where it shows what's going to be playing at certain times. Mm-hmm. I knew by watching that at some point during the night they were going to be playing on Adult Swim. They were going to play Robot Chicken followed by Aqua Teen Hunger Force and then an episode of Bleach. So what I would do is I had a VHS a VCR, and I would set it to record that hour of Adult Swim every night. And then in the morning when I would wake up for school, I would put in my VHS that like recorded that, and I would watch those episodes of, like of those shows. And I was just thinking back, I was thinking back and I was like, man, kids will never understand like the struggle of having to do that, because they can just like look at their phone and be like, I'm gonna look up this episode of this thing, and it's like,
exactly.
yeah, it's like the good shit I wanted to watch was on at like 2 a.m, and I couldn't be up for that.
You, sir, are a regular technician.
Am I?
In fact, you got a VHS recorder to work.
What if he's
That's inspiring.
that I hit the program to record at this time button?
You are a regular programmer, sir.
I gotta say, I never had any of that technology growing up.
Yeah, I never had that
it's
either.
like, because back in the day, I used, they used to run like the cable through the VCR and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just set it to record at like 2 a.m, and then while I was asleep, it would record my episodes of Bleach and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
HBO after 12. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So much for family-friendly show. Okay. Auslick did not leave a question. He just said, JD, my boy. I thought that was Spencer's boy. Spencer, can you confirm?
He's my
Your
boy. He's my boy.
He's your boy.
If you want to fight over that, then you know where to find me.
Boy fight!
The boys. All right, next. Turbo Zone.
Turbo.
So
Q. What moment in a game is or was the saddest to you? I feel like I've answered this.
do it again.
Dragon Quest V. Spoiler alert. Close your ears, Terry.
I watched that movie, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You watched the movie based on Dragon Quest V.
Oh.
Spoiler alert, Terry, close your ears. I don't know, when you lose the cat. How about that?
What happened to that cat?
Just ran away.
I think one of them. I don't think if I've said it, I don't think I've said this one. Is at the end of Shadow of the Colossus. I think that one is one of the hardest hitting moments for me.
I feel that.
Should I explain what that is, or do we just, because it's like a spoiler? Like, that's the problem with this question, is that it opens up to spoilers, because usually in video games it's like a big point of the game.
I don't know, man. Give a spoiler alert.
All right. Spoiler alert for Shadow of the Colossus. Boom. Okay, you've been warned.
Tay, take his headphones off.
For those that can't see, Daddy looks like Hellboy right now. So at the end of Shadow of the Colossus, you take down the 16 Colossi, and then you're doing it because you're trying to bring a girl back to life. You don't know the relation. It could be your sister, it could be your whatever. It turns out at the very end that you become the monster, and you do save her, but it costs you your own life, and you've pretty much cursed the world, so you become the villain. And when you say it that way, it doesn't sound as sad, but the execution of it is incredibly tragic. So
Yeah.
Spencer, are you there?
yes, I'm here.
Hello, Spencer.
Yes, Teddy.
I closed my eyes. I can't see.
That's good.
Where am I? Where are the button mappers?
You look like a fucking Jet Set
Is it
Radio.
done?
Yeah, it's all done.
Shh. Okay, good. You didn't spoil it for me.
There you go.
But my hair's a mess.
We
And then
totally
all the Colossus have an orgy. What?
It was
Oh
so
shit! I gotta
sad.
play this game now.
It was the saddest orgy ever. The end.
Aw. How do you screw that one up? It's like you got a circle of people like, how do we do this thing?
Walk into the sadness orgy.
Yes, the tissues.
Well, there's my answer.
I'm on.
I'll go with The Last of Us 2. The ending of that was pretty emotional. So yeah, Last of Us 2, pretty easy one to make. I mean, there's some other games out there too that had, you talked about Shadow of the Colossus. The Last Guardian has a bit of a sad ending to that as well, but it's sequel. But I think The Last of Us 2 probably fits that category the best.
Mine's definitely, which I there's like hundreds of moments I could pick from both Nier and Nier Automata, because like basically if you exist in a Nier game, your life is just tragic. There's no help for you. But in Nier Automata, there is a village of peaceful robots that have broken off from the more, I guess more violent robots, and they're trying to live their lives in like this little village and stuff. And you become friends with the leader, Pascal. Spoiler alert. Later on in the game, the village is under attack and everything, and they leave and they find shelter. And after you and Pascal leave for a bit and come back, you find that the robot children that you were sheltering have committed suicide. And Pascal is like, what happened? Is then Pascal realizes that he taught them the concept of fear, because he thought it would help to better protect them, but instead this is what happened. And there's a moment there which is really fucking brilliant, where Pascal says, "I can't go on like this," and Pascal asks you to either kill him or erase his memory. And you actually have three options. The third option is just to fucking leave. And Pascal says, "You can't leave me like this," and then you just leave, and you never see him again until like the end of the game.
Don't leave me.
But what I think is the saddest is that if you go through with, which seems like the most humane, with erasing his memory, and then you go back to that village later on, he has a shop and he's selling you parts, and the parts are pieces of the robot children.
Oh my god!
He just doesn't remember. Yeah, and it's the saddest fucking moment, and I'm like, what have I done? It's just like one of like the heaviest moments for me.
That reminds me of like the Witcher 3 quests, where it's like your choices are shit and like worse shit, and they all just like end up being terrible.
Yeah, like I said, if you exist within like a Nier game, or or like a Drakengard Nier whatever game,
Yeah,
your life there's no hope. Like nothing's going to turn out well for you.
that's wild. That's a
Yeah,
really good
they're pretty
quest.
wild games. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. Okay.
Confirmed.
SNES Mapper. You doing good, Bruno?
You good, Bruno?
You good, Bruno? I don't know. Coffee, hot tea, sweet iced tea, or Malta?
Sweet iced tea all the way. I'm a Southern boy.
I'm gonna go hot tea as a real tea connoisseur.
I'll go hot tea as well, no sugar. If I can do cold tea, I'd prefer that, but it can't be with sugar.
You're a monster.
Hot tea without a doubt. No question about me.
You heard it here first. We're a bunch of hot teas here,
No, I'm not. Leave me out of this.
except for Alex. He's a sweet tea.
Sweet iced tea.
You're a real sweet tea, Alex.
Thank you. Meet me after the podcast.
See you there. Okay, final question comes from Majority.
And he asks,
What is your hair routine?
Is that seriously the question on there?
when did you post this? Like today?
Like 5 minutes ago. My timestamp says 5 seconds ago, but I'll go first. Okay, so I take my hand, I put it through my hair, and then I rub it back.
Wow.
That's my hair routine. I do that a couple times, I repeat it throughout the day. And it's a general routine that I've built in since, growing my hair. And with the beard routine, just kind of brush inwards towards like the cleft.
What
And,
is this question?
kind of scratch a little bit. Sometimes the beard hair gets itchy.
All right, I'll go. I do shampoo and conditioner on Mondays and Thursdays, and I guess that's it. I comb it sometimes.
What shampoo conditioner?
Oh, what's the brand? It's like it's the brand you get at Ulta. I don't remember the name. I'll go get it when you guys go.
We're watching Spencer run to get the shampoo and conditioner. We have direct live feed here. This is the stuff of legends here, boys. It's
I'm not
very
answering. I'm not
very
answering this
titillating scene. Couch is awaiting his arrival. We're waiting. He's gone. He's coming back. Spencer, the man.
Then I rubbed the yak's milk in. Oh, hey Spencer, what's up?
It's Joico, Joico.
Proud of you.
I use the volumizer. Clearly, it's working.
Is that even a word? Volumizer? Looks
I
like
can
fucking-
see the volume.
Sounds like a fucking Ratchet and Clank weapon.
It is a Ratchet
You've
and Clank
unlocked
weapon.
The volumizer.
You insert the shampoo into a large gun and blast your face with it.
I can see it now. Spencer in the shower. Aman.
Well, the first step is to find hair because I don't have any that much anymore.
Oh please, you've got
But the-
luscious
Yeah,
beautiful
head of
locks. Come
But
on.
the next step, I guess, which is not my routine, but it will be now, is going to Ulta and get myself some Joico because I need to look like Spencer. That's what it is for me.
You just made
That
me
hair
$50.
is awesome.
Handsome lad Spencer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no brushing, no nothing. Just if it's there, whatever. Use my hand. That's
Use
it.
the hand.
Use the hand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Alex.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, no, I'm not going any further than that.
How do you
Shower.
follow that one up?
It's shall
Mhm.
remain a mystery.
Okay.
No, I mean, I just fucking wash and condition it. I mean, I don't really use anything else. It's just fucking, it's hair. So, fucking, I mean, I guess when I have my hair up on like a ponytail, I have a bad problem with like flyaways and like my bangs. So I use like a fucking molding clay to like mold that into place so that fucking bangs will fall on my face.
Have any of you guys used a hair mask before? I got one for Christmas and I don't know how to use it.
Hair
No.
mask? Like a hair net?
No, it's like,
Like
a
after
No.
a shower?
there's like it's like a cream or something that you put in your hair. I don't understand it though. I don't.
Nah.
I'm the wrong person for that.
Aman, have you used a hair mask before?
Today's episode brought to you by Joico
Hair
mask.
Yeah.
Put it in your hair and use your hand.
Make sure your hair doesn't catch the corona.
Yeah.
All hair has feelings too. What are yours?
Maybe I will someday. Who knows?
309 ways to mask your hair. What will you choose? Joico.
Joico.
All right, beautiful. One thing that's not a mystery is game talk. It's the second half of the game talk. Really, it should be the whole thing, but we got Q&A, we got game talk. So we talk games, and we're very excited. This month's theme was the PlayStation 1, and a lot of good games that we're going to hear from. But as per tradition with game talk, we start with the guest. VGMashUP, Mr. Aman, what game have you been playing?
So this was a little bit of a trick for me because initially I was going to talk about a game on the PlayStation that is rather well known. But then I was like, oh no, we're not doing none of that because this month is Spencer month. Mario can just sit in the corner. So we were going to do something different. That different being RPG because, after all, the PlayStation is known for RPGs. But here's something you guys may not know, that the PlayStation has some really awesome homebrews. And what they like to do in that homebrew market is to recreate games that were released later on. So I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but one of my favorite games, and I'm pretty sure you guys are probably big fans of this game as well, Diablo 3, is the game that I wanted to talk about. Did I say something wrong, Spencer? I'm just curious. Oh, you know what? How about we talk about a different game then?
Yeah, how about that? What else you got?
How about how about we do? Sorry, I think this is a collaboration with
I put him up
somebody.
to this.
All right, let's reset. Let's talk about Diablo 3 for another episode. Let's talk about Einhander for the PlayStation.
There we go.
A shmup. And one of the really cool things about this game, that even today, I think a lot of the PlayStation games in general don't age that well, especially 3D platformer games on the PlayStation. They're really hard to play. Yeah, the Tomb Raiders, etc. But Einhander is a really cool 2D horizontal shooter that plays extremely well. Very challenging. The graphics are really cool for today's standards, and it gives me a little bit of a Halo vibe. Halo vibe in the sense that you pick up weapons from your enemies that have fallen, and basically those weapons are either good, bad, whatever. They're really situational. So they work well against certain enemies, don't work well against certain other enemies. And I think it's a really cool and neat aspect about the game that is very strategic in nature. So the game, apart from being very challenging, very hard, tough as nails, boss battles, you have to learn the patterns, but it also adds strategy to it. And on top of that, a great soundtrack to boot. So everything, all in all, is why I think Einhander is a fabulous game on the PlayStation that everybody should at least try out. And not Diablo 3.
Is it an arcade game?
I don't know, but I played it on the PlayStation, and I still, one of the very few games that I still have on my PlayStation. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I don't know if it was an arcade game or not.
How many hands did you play it with?
One or two, I should say. Both of them.
They should call it Zweihander.
Zweihander, yeah. It's definitely very challenging. You need two hands and then some to play this game.
Oh, yeah. And
It's
a
not
couple
easy.
brain cells.
And
Yeah, I got to play a little bit of this before you came onto this episode. Not the way that you have it, like physically. That game is expensive, and going back and trying to get it today, I really got to want it. But that is a game that is really wantable. I played a little bit of it. The theming and everything is terrific. It's not your typical shmup. Your typical shmup is very just like, I don't know, I guess kind of more like militaristic and like, your helicopter fighting and kind of like, World War II kind of thing, 1942. I don't know. But that one has a very kind of like modern aesthetic and feel to it, at least to the beginning segments that I played. You're like, there's like, it almost seems like you're fighting like these hovercraft cop cars or something. It seems like something out of Blade Runner.
Yeah, it almost feels like a cyberpunk version of a shmup. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I really like the fact that even though it's a horizontal shmup, there's a lot of vertical movement. So you're going in and out of places. You may not be actively interacting with stuff, but overall, it's just a really neat idea. And plus, the music is so well blended. If you listen to the soundtrack, you'll probably not enjoy it as much, but when you're playing it as part of the game, it really blends in quite nicely.
Hey, were you able to finish this game?
Initially, yes. This time around, I couldn't find my save card on my memory card, so I could not. On one try, no.
Oh, does it save your progress?
After each stage, you can save it, but I remember doing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
So when you beat a level, you can save it, I believe. Yes.
Cool.
What other like shmups can you compare it to? Because like I'm not really particularly when it comes to shmups, I'm more of a fan of like vertical shmups than like horizontal style. So what can you compare it to? Do you know?
Comparatively speaking, yeah, I can't think of a good one. Mora is sort of like it, but not really. It really is its own unique thing because you pick up power-ups from different shmups as well. That's not new. But what's cool about this is like in Halo style, you have a limited number of ammo. So once you run out of that, the gun is pretty much useless.
Yeah.
So you have to not only pick weapons that are suitable for the type of enemies that you're facing at the time. But if you know that you're going to come up against a stronger opponent, you want to save the good stuff for later on.
That's kind of interesting, yeah.
My question is,
I would compare it to like Darius Gaiden in terms of just like look, not theming. The theming of Darius Gaiden is aquatic. And,
Fish, yeah.
Yeah, fish, cyber, obviously.
Cyberfish, yeah.
Yeah, hey, we're on to something. But I agree with them on the weapon system is really cool. Like you can rotate between like 3 weapons that you acquire. You have to like pick up the weapons. What does that remind me of? It reminds me of like that Genesis one where you're fighting bugs. What is not Insector X? It's the other one. What the hell is it?
Musha?
No.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know a lot of Genesis.
most people don't.
Shmups.
It's not. Genesis is not a good console. Most people don't know about it.
Mike, can you eject Spencer from the call?
Well, I'm already on his bad side now after that Diablo 3 thing. So
Yeah, we'll be talking about that off camera. But I had a question. It would be, it was kind of similar to Alex's, but what is the shoot 'em up situation on the PlayStation 1?
Ooh, it's good. Pretty good.
I think, yeah, there are quite a few of them. I have not played a lot of them because honestly, the PlayStation for me was like the RPG place. I played a lot of RPGs along with a lot of sports games at the times. I know sports games are taboo, especially nowadays, but back in the day, the PlayStation was pretty popular for a lot of the sports games, the NBAs, the NFLs, the extreme sports, and also RPGs. I played a few of them, and this just happened to be one of them.
I would love to do a Madden game talk, but anyways, April Fools.
Let's take this.
Ray Crisis, or it's the Ray Force, is another really good one on the PlayStation 1.
And Gunbird. Well, Mobile Light Force if you're in America, because fuck me. But I did a whole video on that.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Like I know that some consoles are considered like have a bigger community for it.
The Genesis.
Yeah, that one.
Well, I think just this like generation. I think this like your favorite, the Saturn, has a bigger like selection of shmups compared to the PlayStation. But I think like it's just this generation still had some pretty solid ones, and it's like talked about.
Where does it rank with the other generations? Like, what would this be considered the booming period of these kinds of games, or would it be specifically arcade would be the master?
It would have been. I think it would have been the generation prior.
Yeah, generation prior, and then generation sort of after that, because there was sort of a renaissance after all these like the PlayStation 2. I don't think is known for its shmups at all. There were some. Yeah, there were some decent ones on there, but then all of a sudden the Xbox 360 came along and had surprisingly a pretty good selection, and the PlayStation 4 and beyond has obviously just boomed. That genre is doing really well.
Yeah.
Did it pick up with Geometry Wars? Is that kind of what brought it back?
I could have. I don't know. It was kind of popular.
Yeah, I think the very first game that the PlayStation 4 launched with, Resogun, was I think the start of something, because people didn't have a lot of other things to play. So that game alone was like, wow, this is actually fun. And then all of a sudden, basically put that whole genre up front in everybody's eyes.
And what I think you're talking about, Amon, with the 360 is that Cave brought a lot of their games to the 360 with like Death Smiles and a lot of those different shooters.
Akai Katana, Death Smiles.
Yeah, that were like 360 exclusive for some reason, even though it's like the least Japanese console you can put them on.
Yeah, they were trying to really push hard to the Japanese audience, at least early on. So I'm sure they worked some deal with Microsoft. Who knows?
It's really a shame because I think in that era, like the PlayStation 1, the Saturn era, not so much N64, but the spaceship shooters were actually in probably their most unique kind of theming and really did feel like these kind of grand experiences. And Einhander's definitely one of them. So good pick.
Thank you.
How's the soundtrack?
It's very technical, so not like Diablo at all.
Oh, okay.
Can you imitate it?
No.
Okay. Well, I love how you picked not just a PlayStation 1 game, but something for Spencer month. So that was really good. Oh, you didn't pick something for Spencer month because you would have picked Diablo. Okay. Spencer.
It's the thought that counts, right?
You were thinking. Spencer.
Get that resume ready. I'm on. Start typing it up. I'll help you. I'll send you some links. I'm gonna need it. Yeah.
Zelda month.
Oh, I'm not next. Okay. I picked Croc, the Legend of the Gobos.
Fucking way, seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was inspired because I wanted to try something. Obviously, not an RPG. I've been playing enough of those lately. I wanted to try something that I've played as a kid and never got to really finish, and it has some sentimentality to me. And I technically, for full disclosure, I didn't finish it. I got to the 4th area, but I do plan on finishing it. And I was super impressed by some things about it, and then super let down by other things. I'll start with the positives. I'm a positive kind of guy. I think the number one thing I took from it is the idea of it. I mean, if you don't know what Croc is, because I guess maybe there's younger people, it's a action platformer on the PlayStation. 3D. It's like an early attempt at 3D gaming, and it's a very kiddie game. There you go. So one of the things I really really liked from it is it's very enclosed. It almost feels like a mobile game of today, like what they would make on the Switch or the 3DS. The missions are very very short, and they're very enclosed. So you can finish like a level within, especially the early game, you can finish them within like 1 minute. They're very very quick and easy to finish, but they also offer like a bunch of different quests within it, such as getting all the gobos. Getting the gobos sounds like its own game. And then getting the different colored crystals, which will get you unique bonuses. And you can achieve those in every single little mission. There's like 6 or something missions per world, and there's 5 worlds. So I think the last one's a little shorter. But so when you do those missions, if you want to, you can get a whole lot more out of the game than just like speed running through it. And I really admire that early look at how you can get the most out of games for different kinds of gamers. I think that would actually lend itself really, really well. And I'm surprised they haven't like ported that or tried to do some kind of remake, because that would be phenomenal in today's market. That's more like into short-term bursts. Is really, really strong at that. I think the graphics are actually pretty decent, all things considered. I mean, it's early in the life cycle. It shouldn't be aiming that high, but it looks pretty good. It does have some familiar PlayStation jaggies. It has pop-in, whatever. I think anybody can look over that. It's fairly decent with the scope and how much it was going for. Things look pretty clear. I kind of like it for that. The music, whatever. I haven't listened to any of the music. I'm sure it's all crap. As far as the negatives go, and this is the only real negative I have, but it is a huge hindrance, is that it plays like a Resident Evil game somehow. It has tank controls. So it's actually easier to play on the control pad than it would be on a joystick, because it's more accurate. And so it's weird that it's designed in such a tank control mentality, but maybe it's just because it was such an early 3D attempt on the PlayStation that just couldn't really handle it. I think this game, I was thinking to myself, the way I would tagline this game is, it's the best N64 platformer that was never released on the N64. If this could only come out on the N64, I think it would have suited it so much better. But
Well, it's kind of funny you brought that up, because I was going to ask you, do you know the origins of this game at all?
yes, it's Yoshi.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Yeah, Argonaut, yeah.
Yeah.
They pitch it as a Yoshi game.
And I mean, they could have made it a really, really good Yoshi game if they put it on the N64. I mean, the concept is really, really solid. The controls just, I guess it bleeds to, I guess another negative is that the boss fights are freaking terrible. Just
Yeah.
horrible. Some of them, literally, you just run in a circle and the enemy tires himself out and then you win. It's like really, really bad. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Croc. I don't want to review it or score it or anything, but it's an interesting nugget in the history of 3D.
In the Spencer scoreboard, it gets a 4 out of 10.
4 Crocos out of 5 Crocos.
It's not just a nugget. It's a gold nugget.
I actually used to play this one a lot when I was a kid. In its sequel, and I have fond memories, but I have not gone back and played it in so long. I'm scared to, because I know it hasn't aged well. So if I go back and play it, I'm scared I'm going to be like, what happened to my game? It sucks now.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how, at least early on in the PlayStation's life cycle, there was sort of this identity for mascots. And I think Croc was one of them that I remember quite fondly, along with, of course, Crash and Spyro and so many others.
Gex,
But it's
can't
really-
forget Gex.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm just saying, it was like one of those things where those were the thing back then. So
Yeah.
it was really neat to see. Of course, I have very little memory of it. I never really played it myself, but I have seen gameplay footage of it.
Did you get any insider Yoshi lore?
Yeah, there's gobos apparently.
Whoa.
No.
You need to answer the age-old question. Is it worth it?
You know, for $5, you could do worse.
What about on the Saturn?
That's a good tagline. Croc, for $5, you could do worse.
If you have a Saturn, I guess it's probably the best thing that's on there. So you should probably go grab Croc, Legend of the Gobos.
The best N64 platformer released for the Saturn.
Oh, it's Saturn glory. It's surprising how many elements I actually enjoyed. I was looking at like, okay, I'm gonna play like a classic game and I'm gonna like kind of laugh at its glitches.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty solid, just in general. It's like those little nitpicks that hurt it, but it's like conceptually you can just see where they were going, what they wanted to achieve, and it's pretty impressive. I think. I mean, it's not,
Terry.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Terry, I think we figured it out. Spencer's now the Croc guy.
I thought you were going to ask for Terry's advice. Terry, what do you think?
Terry,
Pop in and be like,
how do you feel?
I think Croc is fucking shit. It's not on the,
It was
it's not
released on the console.
it's not on GOG.
It's not on GOG.
Poor Terry.
Speaking of Terry, we have his what are you, mom?
Yeah, call me mama.
Call him mama. We got
Big
Alex.
mama.
Alex mama.
Damn it,
Alex.
Spencer. I'm sad that you picked Croc because I thought for sure you would have picked an RPG, and I was hoping to throw off the tone. So I have a story before I get to my actual game for what I tried to play. I went to the game store near me that sells like retro stuff to try to find a game for this because I wanted to play something that I'd never played before. So I went and I was looking through the games, and I didn't have a lot of free time because I was working a lot. So I picked up a copy of Duke Nukem Time to Kill, and I was trying to play that. Don't try to play that. It's like look, it was Duke Nukem, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a fun little shooter, run and gun, whatever, have fun. No, it's Tomb Raider, but with Duke Nukem and time travel, and it's Tomb Raider. So I played the first stage, and I got past the first stage after like 5 attempts, and I was like, I'm not doing this. So I gave up on that, and I decided to talk about my favorite PlayStation game, a game that I've played basically my entire life. You know. It's a game called Ape Escape. It's first party developed 3D platformer. And Amon, I would like to shit on your perspective here. This game does 3D platforming very well on the PlayStation. Thank you very much. What's interesting about Ape Escape is that it came out around the same time as the analog stick controllers came out. Before they even had DualShock, it was just like the analog controllers. And it takes advantage of them. It's the whole point. It's sort of like a tech demo for the sticks. So before I get to the actual plot and stuff, what makes it interesting gameplay wise is that you use the left stick to move, the right stick for your items, and the triggers to jump, and then you use like the face buttons to switch items and the pads to camera. Very interesting setup. It works really well. I mean, the game still. I was playing it this morning some just to get a feel for it again. It still holds up incredibly well. Ape Escape is a first-party developed game for the PlayStation about monkeys trying to take over the world. There is an evil monkey named Spectre who has gained super intelligence through this monkey helmet, and he has escaped this theme park that he works at. And he's like a little attraction monkey, and he takes this. I guess it's like time travel device. It's not really explained like who the characters are in terms of like their like connections, but he goes to this professor's lab who invented the monkey helmets, and takes him and a bunch of his other monkey companions back in time to try to rewrite history. And about the same time, you play a Spike and your best friend Jake show up to the lab at the same time as the monkeys are going back in time, sending you back in time, you and your friend. Back to the past, and the whole point is to collect the monkeys and stop them from rewriting history. So you're going through like the different eras. You go to like the Ice Age, the prehistoric. There's like a feudal Japan area, and what's interesting to me is that I always love this game because it took the idea of like Mario 64 or like those kind of collectathons, but turned it on its head. Like, what if the whole idea was like, okay, there's the star you need to collect, but that star is going to do everything in its like in its power to get the fuck away from you. It's gonna run. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna fucking throw shit at. It's gonna have rocket launchers. It's gonna hop into a UFO. It's not gonna let you catch it. And that's where the difficulty of the game is that the items you need to collect are willingly they're running. You cannot catch them. It's very hard. And it has unique ideas with the items. So, something in like Banjo-Kazooie, you would get like new power-ups, like, oh, you can now do the Talon Trot. Oh, you can do the Wonder Wing. In this game, you get different items. So you start out with like a net and a stun club. You can use the stun club to hit the monkey and catch him. But you get things like the monkey radar, which kind of helps you, find where they are hidden in the level. You get things like a hula hoop that makes you run faster, and a little RC car where you can drive it through and, solve puzzles and stuff. That really helped to expand the levels. It helps you go back to the older levels and kind of find hidden stuff. This is a game that I played originally like one winter break, and I remember that's like all I did that like winter break, which was just I like got everything in this game, and I loved it so much. And my parents took note of that, and I didn't have a lot of money growing up, so they couldn't buy me like brand new games often. But I swear to God, they bought me every brand new Ape Escape game after this point, like when it came out. I got Ape Escape 2, I got Ape Escape 3, I got Ape Escape Pumped and Primed. The other one I didn't get was the PSP ones because I didn't have a PSP at the time, but I bought those later. And I was just like, growing up, it was like my favorite Sony franchise. And I think this game, in terms of PS1 standards, it holds up surprisingly well.
What do you think of the sequels?
They're good. I think this game has a certain charm that is lost. I think they try to make it a little too cutesy with the sequels, a little, more mascotty. This game doesn't. I don't feel like it was trying to do that. It has like a quirky sense of humor, but the sequels are like, oh, there's a silly situation where there's a monkey dressed up like a Han Solo, or oh, there's a kooky situation where there's ninja monkeys. This game was more just. I don't know. It was about the fun, and I think they tried to make it more like a marketing thing after this. They're not bad sequels though. There were a few that were left in Japan on the PS2 and PSP that I haven't gotten to experience. And then after that, I think they had like one PlayStation Move game, and then they just the series kind of died. So.
Yeah, I've never played the Ape Escape series, which is why I will say. The PlayStation 1, bad for 3D platforming. But anyway.
Point me, Amon.
Yeah, if you don't believe me, play Duke Nukem, whatever it was.
Time to Kill.
But that's cool. No, yeah, Time to Kill.
And what it's funny, like Croc, Time to Kill, those kind of games with the tank controls don't work at all. And I think this game, once it was such a good tech demo for the analog stick controller because it controls so well in like a 3D space. It just feels so good to play. It's I guess if you're playing 64, you already had Mario 64, so you don't really need that. But on PS1 at least, the other platformers, Crash Bandicoot could do it because you just got to go straight pretty much half the time. It's or side to side. Mm-hmm. But the open games were a little more they're harder because you had to navigate that 3D space with a fucking D-pad, and this game was like, hey, here's actual controls.
I'm curious to try it out.
Back then, games like this struggled with camera. How is the camera in Ape Escape?
I feel like the level design compensates for it because they don't have a lot of situations where it gets caught. Like I would have an issue because I've complained about cameras and 3D platformers a ton, but I feel like this one, the levels are relatively open. I feel like the only levels that are really like there's like one level where you go inside like this giant dinosaur, then like the whole level's inside of the dinosaur, which is really fucking cool. But most of the levels are pretty outdoorsy and leave a lot of room for like camera manipulation and stuff. They don't, it's not really that obscured. So I feel like they were smart about it.
Okay.
You said this. Forgive me if it's not what it is, like it's not called the Star, but you said that the Star would do everything, like fire rocket launchers at you and do all this other kind of stuff.
The monkeys are the stars.
Oh, so is the goal to collect all the monkeys?
Yes, each stage it loads in, and say the stage has like 12 monkeys. Your first goal will be just to catch 7 of them, but you can go back later on and get the rest of them. Some of them will be hidden, some of them will be hard to get, some of them you need certain gadgets for. So
Okay.
there's like a completion element to that. But
So what you're really trying to say is it's like Ocarina of Time when you catch the cuckoos.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
only it's good.
So which was your favorite monkey and why?
I'll tell you which are not my favorites are the fucking blue ones because they run super fast, like my boy Sonic. And Jesus, they're hard to catch. And I don't know, they don't have a lot of different personalities in this game. Later on, they will. Jesus, Ape Escape 3, those monkeys can steal your gadgets. Ape Escape 3, which I doubt I'll ever talk about it, so I'll talk about it now. There's a monkey. There's monkeys that will steal your net, and they will catch you and boot you out of the stage. And
Wow.
it's a fucking pain in the ass. I'm like, damn it. So, no, very original platformer. This is one that goes overlooked, and I think out of all the I'm surprised Medieval got a fucking remake before this game did. I feel like this game would still work really well in like a modern setting.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's got a bitchin' soundtrack. Feel like drum and bass.
That makes all the difference.
Sounds like a fucking Wipeout soundtrack.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys all talked about RPGs.
Hey,
so I'm going to...
Teddy,
Speaking of Wipeout,
what game did you play?
Oh, Spencer, a question. This is Q&A. Continued.
Hey guys, I just want to know, what game did Teddy play for Game Talk?
Well, thanks for asking, Spence. Because this one is real sentimental. I've been talking about this game for a long time, and it's one I've been meaning to play and put more time into. And I just want to make a footnote. This is the first game I've ever played and finished on my original PlayStation 1 hardware. So kind of a big deal. I don't own that many games for it. I really only had like 2 games to pick from for this Game Talk. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm pretty flattered and humbled to be able to say I did it. I did it, Ma. Look, the credits.
PUBG 3D.
Whoa.
So imagine, all right, I want you to close your eyes, Alex, and listeners at home. Imagine it's your 20th birthday, and you're coming home from work, another day on the job, and you're very excited. Your wife, she's putting up a party for you, surprise birthday party. You may know, you may not. And, everyone's invited. Your kids, your dog, your friend.
Why is the dog going to be invited? Does he live there?
It's formal. Your professor from college.
Dog tuxedo.
And as you open the door, nobody is there. A slice of cake is pulled off of the tray. And then the banner falls down, and there's a hole in the house. And everyone's been kidnapped. And when you walk out, you get a flyer inviting you to Pac-Man Island because it's Pac-Man World for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And there's a doppelganger Pac-Man throwing a party, and he kidnapped everybody that you know and love. And it's up to you to save them. TikTok Man, the pioneer of TikTok. Serious note, my sister gave me this game and my PlayStation when I was like in my formative years. I don't know, 5, 6, 7. And I never played it that much. I played a little bit, but I was young. So, and I had my N64 and I was just more attached to it. But this is my original copy. It's the one that she gave me. And, and I'm going to text her later and say, hey, look, this game you gave me over 20 years ago, I just beat it last night. So, I was thinking about you, So, I don't know, kind of cool on that regard. This game is marketed as a 3D platformer, although I think it's like somewhere in between, like 2.5 and 3. So I'd say like a 2.7 D platformer. 2.7. It was originally designed with the intent of being more 3D open world, but the developers scrapped that and went more in the vein of the OG Pac, like in the spirit of classic Pac-Man arcade style gameplay. And so you do go like left to right, but you can move up and down within the frame. It has very interesting depth perception mechanic, but there's I'll talk a little bit more about that later. There's 6 worlds that you traverse through to end up getting to Talkman, and in order to fight him, you have to save all your friends throughout the worlds. In each world, there's a total of 4 levels, 3 platforming ones, and 1 boss stage. Each one is themed very uniquely. A lot of cool themes in there that are not like your typical fire and ice level. It's like a pirate level or a space level or Spencer's favorite, circus. So, there's some really cool theming out there. I'd say it's very mappable. And one thing I actually happen to really like is that you get a little bit of freedom to kind of pick and choose. Like if you're like getting stuck on a level in one world, there's 2 worlds open at the same time that you can go to. And so it gives you a little bit of player choice that way. That actually happened to me at one point. I was getting really frustrated in the circus stage. So I went to the factory stage and I played a couple of those levels in the boss first, and then I came back to that. You get a couple new techniques in this game. Pac-Man has the roll technique. You kind of spin up and you charge, boom, and then you get like the game plays with that in a lot of cool ways. Like there could be like these up inclines, and so you'll charge up and you go flying out, and there's like one really cool one with the depth perception where it's like a spinning wheel and you have to time your roll off into that like spinning wheel. Another signature technique here is the butt bounce. It's a classic Pac-Man signature. He just jumps up and then bounces on his butt, as the kids do these days. And so that's also used in some pretty cool ways. A couple swimming levels. I don't think they're too offensive. I like some of the ones where there's like a shark and stuff. And there's also a really cool power up where it's like a metal power up, and you get the metal, you become Metal Pac-Man, and then he just sinks to the ground. He can run like normal on the water. So a lot of cool, playful techniques with the platforming. It's not just your typical jump and climb on the edge and then, progress that way. I think there are a couple successes here that range from just the overall personality and uniqueness of the worlds in the game and just the character here. Kind of like Alex was saying, it didn't feel super mascot-y. It didn't feel like a generic, like, kind of like Pac-Man, more like, I guess like we see nowadays, like it's more animated and more like kid friendly. It just feels like a game first. And I happen to love that. I happen to love a lot of the themes. There's throwbacks to a couple of the arcade cultures. Like one of the things you could do is collect fruits throughout the stage and use those fruits to open doors. And you can like collect the Pac-Man letters like in Donkey Kong. There's also throwbacks to Galaxian, which is really cool. One of the things you collect is the Galaxian, and it opens the door for like the Galaxian maze stage. That's where I get into more areas of concern. And those are totally optional. It's like an over the top kind of perspective on a typical Pac-Man maze, but it's like looking down and in on it. So it's a little weird with the depth perception. And I found them annoying. I kept losing lives in them, so I avoided them for the most part. And they didn't have much to do with your completion of the game. And another thing was, this is progression based, and because it requires you to free all of the friends, I didn't realize that till I got to the end of the game and I had unlocked 4 of the 6 buddies, the friends. And so there's no like menu that tells you what you've completed and what you haven't. It just tells you your total percentage. So I had to go back and do a lot of kind of reverse engineering to figure out, okay, did I get the friend from this world? Where is the key? Because the key is not necessarily in that like stage in that world. And so that was a little bit cumbersome. But overall, I was still able to figure out a lot of it. I didn't have I didn't spend more than an hour or 2 afterwards just going back and tracking my progress and getting to the final boss. A lot of cool bosses, a lot of cool stages, really cool platforming. I think this one's pretty iconic for the era, albeit it is a little janky with some of the physics and systems.
Do you have interest in playing the second one because it's better?
Sure.
It's way better.
You sent it to me. So.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your history with Pac-Man? Is there anything that goes back further than this, or what's your history?
Sure. Yeah. Anytime I go to an arcade, I play it, and so here's kind of a footnote. I have some nostalgia. I used to go to swim meets upstate, and so we would take the ferry from New York, like to get upstate. And when you're on the ferry, well, first off, you could bring the car on the ferry. So we would go like sit on the ferry for an hour. Sometimes we just go on top, like if it's nice out, and just like look at the ducks or whatever. But in the ferry, there was like these tabletops where you could just like put quarters in and play Pac-Man. So I used to really enjoy doing that. When I went to Coney Island, I think there was a lot of arcade machines. And I went to San Francisco and the Fisherman's Wharf. There was an arcade cabinet with Pac-Man, and it's one that I really enjoy playing, like in the arcades with the original kind of like joystick in that way. As far as the home console games, I don't care about them that much. Pac-Man Championship Edition was good. I thought it was fun, but I played it and then that was it. But I respect the legacy of Pac-Man, and I do think the games are good. And this is a, despite it being a little bit separated from the standard Pac-Man formula, it is still paying tribute and honor to that. And I was happy to say that I got through it and I experienced it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, whenever you were telling me you were playing Pac-Man World, I was really excited because if I wasn't the Sonic guy, I'd be the Pac-Man guy. But
I remember you did the video a while back of like years back now with somebody else, and you talked about like top 10 Pac-Man games.
oh yeah.
So I know you have a lot of Pac-Man knowledge up there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I think if it's not, I mean, besides Nintendo, any other franchise, especially some of the older franchises, just kind of die out. So I'm kind of glad that, Namco decided to continue Pac-Man and kind of think of creative ways of reintroducing it to the audience, especially those that probably did not, end up or play it as they were kids. So overall, I think just the variety of Pac-Man games out there, including this one. I played a little bit of it, and I liked it. So I think overall, it's really cool to see that.
Very challenging though. I understand why I didn't clear it as a kid. First off, you have the fact that it's like kind of a new PlayStation 2.75D platformer. And so like, I remember there's a couple stages where there's like turning wheels and like, I'm trying to jump on top of the turning wheels and I just fall through a line back, and it just kept happening. That was annoying. The camera's static, and so you can't just like look around corners. So, you kind of walk cautiously as you go through the game. And it's a lot of interesting timing. And with the depth perception, there's one stage in a graveyard where there's these coffins that kind of come in and out. And it was so hard to just navigate. Like, do I go a little bit like diagonally, and how am I landing on it? Like, you really have to pay attention to the shadows. One time I could have swore I was jumping on these clouds and landing on them, but I was off by like a whole space. And I just, when that happens, it can be a little frustrating. It happens. It's not the predominant aspect of the adventure. But it is a little bit of a hindrance.
It sucks you didn't like them, which I don't think they're that great in that game anyway, but like the classic style mazes in that game.
Yeah.
I am proud of you for identifying the Galaxian.
Thank you.
Very proud today. But because
A proud mother.
because around the same time on PS1, Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness came out, and that game is basically just the classic maze gameplay, but in an adventure format.
Yeah.
And it's sad that like they couldn't kind of work some of that into here for the mazes. It would have made the mazes way better.
Yeah, the good thing was they were optional. Personally, the thing that I liked more was getting all the Pac-Man letters, because it reminded me of like Donkey Kong Country, where you get the KONGs. I don't know if it factored into the percentages, but what happened was you get to go to a bonus stage, and every world had a unique bonus stage, and you could really rack up some lives, which was fun. And you may want like more lives as you get further into the game. I also really liked at the end of stages, you'd have slot machines where you could use the fruit that you collected. And if you went to those bonus stages, you just have a ton of fruit. And so I actually got the timing really good because it kept doing the same patterns with the fruit. So I'd see, like cherry comes after banana, and then like cherry. So like I would time it really well. And I was actually pretty decent at stocking up lives that way. Pac-Man World, great RPG.
Waka waka. Dude, we do is one shmup and 3 platformers. Is this Alex month?
It is. Congratulations.
Hey, I tried.
All right,
I tried.
So now we've done Spencer month, Alex month, and now we just have to do
No,
Kenny month. So.
it didn't count.
There you
This is PlayStation month. Thank you. It's funny. None of us actually went through with playing a quote unquote like RPG, like iconic big
Well,
really
I'll tell you what.
comfortable.
Just for Spencer, I will say
Diablo
that Final
3.
Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite RPGs on the PlayStation of all time.
Yeah, I actually thought about doing Final Fantasy 7, but I figured we did the map out, and I don't want to like overstay it. It's welcome on the channel, because I actually like I'm still playing through that game again, because I just enjoyed it that much. But yeah, I didn't want to like talk about Final Fantasy 7 for this for a second time in like a third video.
I was it was funny you mentioned Gex because I was gonna do Gex first before this one, and I was like, I'll just switch back over.
I'm glad you didn't play Gex 1 because that game's rough.
But before that, I was gonna play Persona, but then I said, you know what?
Persona.
I'm gonna save that for its own thing. So
I'm glad you guys didn't pick Pac-Man World because I would have been screwed. I could have probably talked about like Jack and that's a PS2 thing. So man.
I thought about I thought about also doing Parasite Eve, but I really just want to map that game out because that game's fantastic.
I originally wanted to do Chrono Cross, but like I was just getting so caught up with the RPGs. We just came fresh off of Dragon Warrior 3. Map out for Chrono Trigger, which viewers will know at this point, and Amon already had it spoiled for him. So, sorry, VG.
Oh no,
it's about time.
It's a key
it's
theme.
Time to Kill, Duke Nukem. Wait. So Duke Nukem Time to Kill is the sequel to Chrono Trigger.
Whoa,
I didn't even think about that.
My God, dude, my time was Time to Kill. I want to talk a little more about that for a second. I only got to play up to the second stage, but my God, what a mixed bag of ideas. It plays like Tomb Raider, but it has the humor and the level design of a Duke Nukem game. I don't know what they were trying. And apparently there's like 2 other games that play like this, so somebody liked it. Like if I didn't already have that like pre-exposure to the original Tomb Raider games, I would have not gotten anywhere in that game. And I dropped it because I was just like I had like war flashbacks of playing Tomb Raider and like having to like use those like clunky ass controls, and I was just like, I'm not doing this for another game. This is not what I wanted when I picked up Duke Nukem. That's like the opposite of Duke Nukem. It's like it's like having to like line up all my jumps and like awkwardly grab ledges and stuff. It's like Duke Nukem's supposed to be like funny and fun and fast paced and stuff.
Speaking of Duke Nukem, we're gonna duke it out. VG, who do you think would win in a fight?
Duke
a boxing
Nukem?
match? Spencer or
Duke
Alex?
Nukem? Spencer or Duke Nukem?
So can you guys start that so I can kind of give you my answer in real time? Because I don't know.
Put them up, boys.
Okay. Spencer won. There, Spencer would win.
Oh, we need an announcer because you got to announce the fighters, so then we got to. The bell's got to ring.
I think Alex has like a good 6 inches on me, so I think he could probably win.
Hey, I'm also taller.
Oh! He was talking about like my penis size.
Now Alex pulls out the signature move, the cock slap.
Going Saints Row, huh? That's interesting.
Spencer's put in the corner. He's forced to put up his guards. He does the cock block.
But to your benefit, Spencer, I think you're more fit than I am. I'm not one to turn down to Taco Bell.
Because Taco Bell equals not fit.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, Mapper.
Taco Bell map out coming soon.
During Mapper Month.
That's what we should have Bruno do the whole Taco Bell menu and then say, "You doing good, Bruno?" He probably won't.
Will you join us for that one, VG? A community map out of Taco Bell?
Yeah, I agree. That would be fun.
Would that be a bell out?
I think so.
We should
You
set
could
a
probably
Patreon for the Taco Bell map out.
We'll start saving now.
Or like a Kickstarter.
I have like horrible flashbacks of watching a YouTuber, just like that was his channel, was that he would go to Taco Bell and eat their food.
Oh my goodness.
And I saw like 2 or 3 videos. Like, is this really the only thing this channel is? And I obviously stopped, but it was like, so disgusting that he would just in front of the camera, just like have the camera there and just eat.
Yeah, that's what I do in private. always eat my Taco Bell.
It's a little salty, but I think the flavors mesh well.
Does he review the products? Because here's the thing about Taco Bell. I hate to tell you, it's the same 5 ingredients rearranged.
Yeah. Well,
You're eating the same thing.
that's like a
This is
rule.
funny.
of
This reminds me of the #1 Gordita Crunch. I thought this was a taco.
That's kind of the rule of Mexican food. What makes it so great is that they're all like the same ingredients, just how you want to have them. Like you can put them in a taco or a burrito, or just like on top of a tostada. But it's beans, or cheese, and rice, and then one of the meats.
Like I fucking love quesadillas, but like it's the same shit.
You're not lighting the world on fire. It's just-
Yeah.
Just the toilet.
Nacho fries. There you go. Different.
There you go.
I guess the Crunchwrap's kind of original, even though it's still the same shit all wrapped together. But
Dude, that used to be my jam.
me too. I loved the Crunchwrap, man. Whenever it came out, I was just like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
It's crunchy.
That one took the world by storm.
Did it?
Crunchwrap Supreme. Yeah, I knew about the Crunchwrap. That was the only thing I would get from Taco Bell. When I was with friend groups I'd rather not associate with at this stage of my life, it always used to be, yo, let's go to Taco Bell and get the Crunchwrap. Yeah, dude. Like, sorry about that.
Malta Master, are you here?
Malta Master.
Getting a Crunchwrap?
some Malta too.
I used Malta
Crunchwrap.
as a persona for
Oh, okay.
friends in my stage of my life. Yeah, anyways, the Crunchwrap Supreme. Yeah, the beef, the chicken, to die for.
Amon, what's your number one at Taco
Eat too
Bell?
many of them.
You will die.
I
That's the
used to
tagline.
enjoy the Mexi Melts quite a bit, but they got rid of those.
They got rid of fucking
Unfortunately.
everything recently, man.
Yeah.
They got rid of the pizza. They got rid of fucking the little potatoes. They got rid of everything. They're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess just go with the original. I guess soft taco supreme or crunchy taco. Either one doesn't matter.
I'm
Simple, to the point, and good.
I'm a soft taco guy. Anywhere I go. Go ahead and soft.
Amon, if you had to have one of us make you a taco, who would it be?
Oh my goodness.
Reminder: I actually manage a restaurant.
So okay. Well, Alex. Yeah, I'd say Alex. Even though I'd be scared he'd probably eat them before they ever get to me, but still, I'll go with Alex.
Wow, calling me fat now.
So he's
No,
just gonna bring
don't
you
do
the
that.
wrap, like the
No,
taco paper. Here you go, Amon.
No.
Can you throw this out for me?
I'm saying because that's what I would do. Because if I were making them, they would be so good. By the time they get to Alex, they'd be done. They'd just be eating the wrappers or looking at them, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, well, I bake my own chicken regularly, meal prepping for weeks.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no, I would actually go with Spencer because honestly, as a manager for a restaurant, I hate cooking because I cook for a living.
Yeah, he set you up, Amon.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't like cooking. I do it for my job.
and Amon, if you want to do even better, we do a quesadilla because I make them with Oaxaca cheese.
Okay.
I think that's
You
how
know what?
pronounce it. I don't know for sure, but I think that's.
Oh, I don't know either, but I'll take your word for it because I surely don't know. But I'll tell you what. I think the correct answer here is Teddy because I've at least seen him cook on his channel. Where you guys are just saying, I don't know.
You guys
But
just
I-
talk a big
but-
game.
but metal cheese.
Yes.
That's I have to score.
See, I don't think you'd want to bite down into metal cheese.
That is true. Metal cheeses is a good alternative, but I'd still have to go with the
Ted's gonna
overall-
make you good like what noodles and sushi thing.
It'll make you
I was gonna
udon
pick-
taco.
Teddy, I has to make a video of him making Mexican food for me.
Okay.
All
Is
right,
that
I mean,
cultural appropriation?
You can still put all those noodles and stuff in a taco, right? It's Mexican then or whatever.
carbs are carbs, baby.
Fusion.
Yeah, carbs are carbs.
It's Mexi fusion. What? Asian?
Mex Asian.
I will do
Wait, I got a channel for you, Spencer. Mex Andrews.
Mex Andrews. Here's how I make tacos. Maybe I will make a how to make enchiladas video just for you.
Ooh, love enchiladas. One of my friend's moms, when I was like in middle school, she made some bomb ass chicken enchiladas, and I swear to God, I went over there one time and I ate so many of them that the next time I went over and they were making them, she basically made me and him our own like platter of like enchiladas because she was like, "You ate all of our enchiladas last time, so I made you your own thing of enchiladas."
Were they green or red?
They were red.
Red's good. I usually make green. I think red goes better with beef, but you can do well with either because their enchiladas are freaking delicious.
So maybe for the next community video response, maybe the side theme could be making a burrito while you are answering your question, so you can kind of tackle.
We have to. We have a rule. You have to be making Mexican food while you.
What's Terry gonna do? Play Minecraft? I don't.
Can I just go to Qdoba and be like talking about PlayStation or whatever it is?
Can you make me a burrito unwrapped?
Yeah, I guess he could go technically to like a European or English Chipotle and just have record while he's doing his video response. That would cover it.
I don't have a Chipotle, but I have a Qdoba. Same thing though.
Yeah.
Watching them make my burrito wrong. Let me make it, damn it.
Yeah. Can you please step aside?
I hate any restaurant where I have to watch people make my food because I just want to make it myself at that point.
He says, "I want guacamole," and he says it's gonna cost extra. I refuse to pay for guacamole. It should come with the burro.
Guac is free, like GOG.
And yeah, I could get this free on GOG.
GOG gives you free guacamole.
You know, back in the day, that was actually a thing in the UK where you would go into a restaurant like McDonald's or whatever and ask for ketchup, like extra ketchup. They would give you that terrible look as if like, no, you're not getting extra ketchup. It is kind of a weird thing over there. It takes some adjusting. So as we go there, order our food, when you ask for ketchup or sauce, they get insulted by it.
Really?
Rough. Hey, how are you supposed to eat McDonald's without ketchup?
Well, that was back in the day. Maybe they have changed by now. I don't know. I'm talking in the
flavor somehow.
Yeah.
It explains a lot, Terry.
That's funny.
But we here at the Button Mappers give you extra map no matter the time. Thanks for joining. This has been Game Talk PlayStation Edition.
This is Alex signing off from the Button Mappers. Don't forget to stay. I don't know. I can't do this.
Hydrated.
Hydrated.
The next.
Just like Frogger crossing the street. He falls into the pond.
Hey guys, this is Spencer. Make sure you press X on that subscribe button and press square on
guys,
the like as well.
This is Spencer. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. We love you here at the Button Mappers and hope you. Oh man, I thought somebody was gonna like interrupt me.
Hey guys, if it's your birthday, let us know and we'll give you a private birthday message in the Discord where you just have to hop on over Frogger style, like our friend VG. Nobody's gonna interrupt me.
mashup.
PG Ribbit.
Not to be confused with the sister channel VG Ketchup, where you can't ask for extra.
Hey, now talking of tacos and not playing Diablo 3. Those two are only things on my mind right now.
Taco Bell Diablo 3 session. I'll see you there.
Don't they have Diablo sauce? I think they do somewhere.
They do!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Diablo confirmed.
It comes full circle.
There you go.
All you need is 3.
I'm gonna send Spencer like a copy of Diablo and like a bunch of Diablo sauce or Taco Bell.
You know, I don't think there's been a map out of that game yet. Maybe.
Not approved. Spencer will teach us how to make enchiladas during the Diablo 3 map.
Oh, that'd be great. It just keeps cutting back to me going, all right, looks like the chicken's ready. So we can start putting some seasoning
I took
on
my
it.
necromancer to the
Yeah.
to the third area, which is actually heaven. Spencer, how about that?
Well, I just turned the oven on. We're going to wait for it to hit to 350 degrees. While we're waiting for that, let's talk about the warrior. Teddy, take it away.
So, as my warrior, I actually put up a fearsome fight with my rice cooker and put on a huge pot of rice.
Oh no, they're blending together.
Where's the joke? We can't tell anymore.
Where am I? Mom? Is that you?
No,
Mommy?
I'm Terry's mom.
Mommy! Bring the ketchup.
Catch up on GOG.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.